For all embossing processes, irrespective of whether it's blind or relief hot foil embossing, the PRÄGO Patrizen company has the necessary materials for producing the counter dies. Counter dies made of PRÄGO materials have an extremely accurate register and require little time to produce. Perfect embossing, achieved using PragoPlast Combi. Let's follow the production of a counter die in a platen press. The metal die is positioned and fixed in the press with double-sided adhesive tape. Cut a suitably sized piece of PragoPlast and attach it to the plate opposite the metal die. Run the machine several times until the contours of the metal die are visible on the white PragoPlast material. In order to enhance the definition of the counter die, take a knife and cut around the contours, leaving a surround of about 2 millimeters, and remove the excess material. It's not necessary to cut the contours exactly. Pay attention to large area inclusions, because the more carefully you work, the more precise the embossed results will be. As a protective and stabilizing measure, stick a piece of PRÄGO film over the finished die and you're ready to start embossing. Here you can see the sort of results you can expect when embossing with the elastic counter die material PragoPlast Combi, which we recommend for blind embossing on paper with a weight of 50 to 180 grams. PragoHart, for blind embossing carton with small single dies. Position the metal embossing die and attach it with double-sided adhesive tape. Stick a suitable piece of carton on the plate opposite the die. If you're working with a platen press, stick a strip of cardboard about 2 millimeters thick above the carton so that the grippers of the press are lifted slightly. Cover the carton with carbon paper and operate the machine once. If the outlines of the die are all visible, the printing pressure is correct. Now, paste release agent over the metal die. After all these preparations, actual production of the counter die can start. PragoHart is a two-component material consisting of powder and the hardener liquid, which must be dosed in the ratio 2:1. Pour both components into the beaker and mix them thoroughly. Continue mixing until the mass has a jelly-like consistency and is ready for application. Apply the mixture evenly onto the carton and subsequently cover it with a large piece of paper. Run the press under pressure at slow speed for a couple of minutes until the mass begins to harden. Before it gets really hard, take a knife and cut around the contours. Remove excess material from the plate. After about 15 minutes, once the counter die is rock hard, it can be used to emboss carton ranging from between 200 to 500 grams in weight without any problems. Excellent embossing results using PragoHart, which we recommend for blind embossing carton with small single dies. For blind embossing carton with large metal dies or simultaneous multiple embossing, we recommend PragoPaste 512. In order to produce the counter die, again position the metal die in the press and fix it with double-sided adhesive tape. Place an appropriately sized piece of carton on the plate opposite. Lay a sheet of carbon paper over the carton and start the press. If the contours are all visible, the printing pressure is correctly adjusted. If you're working with a platen press, stick a strip of cardboard about 2 mm thick above the carton so that the grippers are slightly raised. Apply the PragoPaste to the carton and spread it evenly over the surface. Lay a piece of paper over the pasted surface and run the press under pressure for some minutes until the paste begins to harden. Before the counter die has hardened completely, cut off and remove the excess material around the edges. Here, the rock-hard counter die. For embossing using large metal dies and for simultaneous multiple embossing, we recommend PragoPaste 512. PragoTherm 800 for relief and hot foil embossing in one operation, shown here on bookbinder's linen. Position and fix the metal die in the press and heat it up to 130 degrees Celsius. Cut a suitably sized piece of the base plate pertinax and roughen it well using emery paper. Attach it to the surface opposite the metal die. The base plate is 1/2 mm thick. If you're using a platen press, another 1/2 mm plate should be placed under the base plate in order to compensate for the normal 1 mm height. Fix the base plate on all sides with adhesive tape. Press a piece of the embossing foil against the base plate and make sure that all the contours of the metal die are clearly visible. If you can feel all the contours by lightly tracing them with a fingernail, the printing strength is correctly adjusted. Only if the contours of the die are close together is it necessary to apply a release agent onto the base plate with your finger and leave it to dry. Place a suitably sized piece of PragoTherm foil over the contours and a piece of the embossing foil on top. Then close the machine manually and apply pressure for a short time. Open the machine slowly. And first, carefully remove the embossing foil. And subsequently, the excess PragoTherm foil. If necessary, use an awl or similar tool. Place a new piece of embossing foil over the finished counter die in order to protect it. Relief and hot foil embossing in one operation using PragoTherm 800, suitable either for structured dies or for multiple stage relief dies. Should you be working with a multiple stage relief die, in which the engraving is deeper than 0.25 millimeters, 2 or more pieces of PragoTherm foil should be used one on top of the other, which, under the influence of pressure and heat, are bonded together. In preparing this counter die, it was necessary to use up to 5 PragoTherm foils in some places. PragoTherm 800 for relief and hot foil embossing in one operation.